Matt Barnes played for a decade and a half in the NBA, won an NBA championship with the Warriors, knows that roster very well, knows the Lakers inside and out, and he is joining us. Matt, who also, by the way, was a great high school football player, could have played for Bob Toledo at UCLA, but they didn't want him to play, so he stuck with hoops. You know you could have played there. They could have used you, a 6'4 guy, 6'5 guy that could run.
6'8 guy that could
You're
run.
6'8"?
6'8", yeah.
Holy mackerel, you would have been good.
Yeah, football was my first sport. It was something I played early on, and it was natural. I figured basketball would be a longer play.
Sure.
And it ended up being, but there's not a day I don't think like, damn, what if?
A 6'8 wideout?
What if? Yeah.
Been nice to have Drew Brees throwing you slant patterns. And
it would have been amazing.
So I said this earlier. I think sometimes we lump all great players together. And the NBA's always got 7 or 8 guys who are different. Kawhi Leonard's like different, and LeBron's different. But I said this earlier, and Matt, you can push back if you want, that there's a difference between great players, Giannis, Anthony Davis, and outcome changers. Magic, Bird, Michael, Kobe, Shaq, Duncan, LeBron, Steph, to me, changed the outcome of conferences, series, banners, trophies. They're different. I love KD. I don't think he's an outcome changer. He gets hurt, the Warriors still win at a 70% clip. Steph is hurt, they're a 500 team. When you look at that list, am I missing somebody? Do you buy into my belief that there's a difference between great players and outcome changers?
No, I agree. I think I agree with you. You know, everyone you put on that list has did it at the highest level and outcomes, and they have won championships. But like you mentioned, there are other great players, Giannis, KD, AD, that still put those great numbers up, but don't necessarily change
the temperature in the room.
It's a good way to put it. I
mean, Anthony Davis is a prime example.
Amazing.
An amazing player. Would he work with LeBron?
I think he would. I think there's so much talk about, I don't want to play LeBron. I don't want to. If LeBron had AD, you see how LeBron is just kind of surveying the scene this season, really figuring out what they have, what pieces they have, and who's going to be his co-pilots. Could you imagine if he did that with AD and just let, every night that AD is young enough to put up these amazing numbers every single night, and then when it's time for LeBron to, put his cape on, he can still put the cape on. And imagine, I think Kuzma's really made an impact for himself and the team. So he's clearly their second option, but I would like to see him at this point in his career. He'll be a first option, but at this point in his career, I can imagine Kuzma as your third option with an AD as your, 1-2 option and LeBron there too.
Yesterday, LeBron liked on Instagram an Anthony Davis thing. I think LeBron is being coy because LeBron doesn't want to look like he's poaching somebody.
Right.
And Anthony Davis doesn't want to be a bad guy in New Orleans. So this is all very coy. I've been told by people I trust that it is a strong Laker lean right now. But here's what's interesting. And you played with Kobe. Once you've got stacks of money and championships, people get less patient. That's just the way human beings work. LeBron's not going to sit around here for a year and a half and play this game. My feeling is at some point, LeBron's going to go into Magic and say, guys, I'm not sitting here for a year and a half.
Well, because Kobe did that. And hats off to him. You know what I mean? To see Kobe finish with, the teams he finished his amazing career with. I mean, everyone's like, well, why doesn't he go somewhere and then, go to another? And Kobe would never do that. You know what I mean? So he rode off into the sunset with the bad teams they had. And you make a great point. I don't really see LeBron doing that. I think they're going to need to make a move, but even more, be more proactive. Magic in this new ownership know they want to make moves. They're aggressive. They're out there. They're trying to find that next piece for them because to me, I really feel like they're number one option away from being up there with the Lakers. With the Warriors.
I agree with you. I think Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Kuzma as a 3 can play with anybody. And by the way, that should be noted. Curry and Durant have a history. They've been banged up in their careers. Steph misses time. Kevin misses time. These are not big, thick guys. You're not talking about guys that can play. They get banged up. A lot of usage. They have the ball.
Right.
I want to ask you about Kevin Durant, who I think is a great player. We all read social media. We can say we don't, but it does affect people differently.
Oh, there's no question.
Some people are thin-skinned. I have kids. How my daughter reads Instagram and how my son reads Twitter. My son laughs at it. I think sometimes my daughter is bothered by it. People are different. Kevin Durant now on a weekly basis is talking back at fans.
I love it.
So now you
love it.
Why?
Just because, I mean, think of what you're doing. Whatever he's saying, I don't know what he's saying back to him, but they're running and telling everybody in their family, everyone in their school, everyone at their work that KD responded. KD said, like the guy in Utah last night, he called him the B word, but I guarantee he told everyone he knows that KD called me a B word after he made it free. You know what I mean? So it's really that back and forth that people kind of forget that, these are still fans, and he is one of the greatest players on the planet. And the fact that KD said something to me goes a long way for some people. And I think, I think KD gets an unfair rap. Everyone wants to make him this bad guy when he took his career and his future in his own hands and chose to go to the Warriors. He could have went to a different team. He chose to go to the Warriors. It doesn't take away from who he is and what he's about. I just think the fact that he's constantly, no one gets trolled more than KD. You know what I mean? So you can say what you would do or what you wouldn't do or what you would say, but until you're there and you're seeing these fans say some crazy stuff about you, you don't know what you're going to do.
Man, you heard stuff. Did you ever hear slurs?
Oh, yeah. Oh, a lot of racial slurs, especially in Utah. It was funny last time. Utah was very racial. When we had that We Believe team in 2007 with Jack and Barron, couldn't believe it. More N-words than probably had black people in the whole city. You know what I mean? So it was a really racist situation. And people know that people say anything now because they're not held to, there's no consequences for it. I could say anything on my phone to anybody, and most likely there's not going to be a consequence to it. So people really speak freely, knowing face to face you would never say something like that to somebody.
Yeah. It is interesting. Did you ever play with a teammate who was very, I've always known this. When I go to games and I sit close to the arena, Chris Paul will look at me. Chris knows who I am. Mm-hmm. LeBron talked to me last game because these players, you guys play games. You come home, you sleep in, you wake up. After shoot around, you turn on sports. Mm-hmm. And here I am blabbing about the NBA all the time. Mm-hmm. How aware of it are you? The heckling, how aware were you during games?
Oh, you hear it, definitely. You definitely hear it. And I think that the key is to be able to, I was someone that went back and forth with fans that it wouldn't affect my performance. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it goes back to what I was saying, like a cool dynamic, or you're coming to a game, you're yelling at, as long as they don't go past the line. I kind of have a line needs to be drawn, and I think the NBA needs to do a better job of having the players back as much as they have the fans back.
I agree.
Because fans say some crazy racial, family, crazy stuff, and if we do anything, it's automatic 25,000, automatic 50,000. I got hit numerous times in my career for just responding. But with that said, I think as long as it's within the lines and respectable, the back and forth banter with fans, and you've seen some of the greatest stuff with Spike Lee and all these guys that are really, and it makes them feel like they're a part of the game. And guys are still going out there and playing great, and you see cool stuff. But as long as it stays within the respectable means, I like it.
There's a couple. Golden State's obviously the best team in the league. I think Boston will eventually emerge. Joey and I go back and forth. There's these Torontos where they're great regular season teams. I call them energy teams. They're deep. They have 9 guys. They play with energy. But you get to the playoffs, and I get to play the same guys 7 times. Stars take over.
Tough.
I don't buy Toronto. I don't buy effort teams. I never have in my life. Do you? Because I look at it and I just think Boston's got better players than Toronto. They'll get calls. Kyrie will take it over. Tatum will take it over. And Toronto will have, the baby dinosaurs will have depth. Playing hard matters when not everybody's playing hard. But in the playoffs, everybody's playing hard.
It's a tough call. I really like Toronto, and I think the fact that what they've done with DeMar, and this is no knock on DeMar, he's a top-tier player. You just put Kawhi in his position, and Kawhi does more on both sides of the ball.
No question defensively.
You know what I mean? So is that the little push they need now that LeBron's not in the East to get over? To the championship. There's no doubt that Boston is very talented, but I think Boston is they have a little bit of a hangover. They had so much success last year with their young guys, and now their veteran players are coming back. Hayward looks lost, and I feel bad for him. He doesn't really, I don't think he's found his rhythm or his niche on that team.
I totally agree, is that he's gone.
Right.
Young players emerge. Now, Kyrie, because he has the ball, will fit.
Right.
Gordon Hayward looks out.
Because I guarantee the outlook they had when they brought Gordon Hayward in and gave him all that money is much different now after the injury, and they realize what kind of special player they have in Tatum. You know what I mean? Then with Terry Rozier kind of trying to find his magic from last year, he's out here gunning. He's out here putting shots up. You know what I mean? And so I really kind of feel like they have to rekindle that magic with the guys they have, whether they're going to make a trade or not. I think Boston would be a great destination for AD. You put AD in that mix, and they have the pieces and the draft picks to make that happen. But I just think Boston needs to find their magic. But like you said, they definitely have the most talented team. And Philly, too. You never know with Philly. I don't know if Philly's there yet mentally, but they have a very talented team, too. But, the East is really wide open.
Do players like LeBron? Like him as a dude? Is he a little bit of a showboat, a little bit of a drama guy?
I've never heard anything bad in circles and locker rooms and this and that. I know him. We're not best friends. I know him. I see nothing wrong. But sometimes when you're that person or you're the best, people just don't like you for that particular reason in itself. Some people don't like Steph for that reason. Some people don't like KD for that reason. Some people don't like LeBron for that reason. They didn't like Kobe for that reason. So it's kind of hard to gauge. I mean, I've never played with them, so I can't say what it's like to play, but just from the outside looking in and play against them for many years, I would love to play with someone like him.
Yeah, I know. Whenever I hear nobody wants to play with LeBron,
I don't buy it, because those are always unnamed sources or so-and-so. Like, put your name on it. If you don't want, tell me what your name is, and then it'll be more valuable.
By the way, Paul George got $40 million more guaranteed. He had a very real reason to stay in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
That's $40 million.
It's a lot of money.
You can buy an extra Camry. You get 2 Camrys in the garage, not just one. Matt Barnes, great seeing you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.